Yo, so what's up, guys? In this video, we're going to be talking about what is going to sell well in the electronics category with AMZScout. So you guys want to stick around. I'm going to be helping you find probably even more products in just the electronics category because, hey, it's 2021. You guys need to know what to sell. You got to make some money. So let's go ahead, stick around. It's going to be fun. All right, guys, so I got my trusty phone here. We have a whole lot of notes that we need to go through. We're going to be using my favorite tool for product research, AMZScout Pro, to go ahead and find some dope things, all right? And one of the things I'm really excited about is the fact that they partnered with Alibaba. So now you can start finding products, but find a supplier. So you can find your products and then find a supplier just like that, all right? It's really intuitive. It's one of the best things that's ever happened, and AMZScout Pro is the whole reason I sell over $150,000 every single month, all right? And that's just with private label drop shipping stuff, not including all my other like retail arbitrage drop shipping or wholesale. So guys, if you want to start making some serious loot, definitely get this tool. They give you tons of free information. There's a whole course that you get. Not to mention they send out different trends each month. You know, check it out right here. Here's one of the little screenshots from what they send, and it's fantastic. Okay, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me. There's a lot of notes. There's a lot of things we got to cover. All right, so there's a ton, you know, but it's gonna be a good one. So sit back, relax. You might want to get a drink or something. Get a pen, some paper, and take some notes. All right, so first we're gonna be diving into the electronics category. Got my laptop over here, my trusty MacBook Pro. You know, I'm not affiliated with Apple. They don't pay me or anything like that. So now let's go ahead and let's get to it. Now with this is the product database, guys. Okay, so this is the AMZScout tool. So there's the extension, which is what we're gonna look at a little bit later, but AMZScout has a ton of other features, okay, a ton. So there's a product database right here where you can search for different products by price, reviews, categories, things of that nature. You know, also there's other things here like the product tracker, you know, the Amazon keyword search, which is what we're going to take a look at as well a little bit later in the video. The reverse ASIN lookup, which is one of my favorite tools, and that's how I kind of figure out what I should be selling against other people, you know. So if I want to capture someone's keywords and stuff, I, you know, kind of look at that. So it's real nice. Like, it's not cheating. Well, it's kind of cheating, but you know, when you're at this level, you got to do what you can to make that money. So what we're going to do is go over here. We're going to look in the electronics category, guys. So we're going to go ahead and break this down. Let's get electronics. We're going to apply. You know, let's get a price. What price should we be doing? You know, typically I don't like going over, you know, maybe $100 when it comes to certain things. With electronics, I try to keep it a little bit lower just for the sheer fact that when things break, you know, you're going to be losing a lot of money on that particular sell because it does cost a little bit of money to make that purchase. Usually when you're doing things like home goods and stuff like that, the initial cost isn't that much and there's a higher upside. But when it comes to electronics, you know, things can break in transit. You know, they could be defective and you don't want to lose a massive amount of money. So if you're buying items that cost $300 per unit, probably not a good idea. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to jump from, you know, maybe $50 to $60 over here, you know, nothing too out of the ordinary. We don't want a massive amount of reviews either, guys, okay? We don't want a massive amount of reviews. You don't want something that has, you know, 50,000 reviews. It's just not going to be a good time, which means if the reviews are that high, it's generally going to be saturated by hardcore sellers, people that have a higher budget than you do. So you don't want to dive in and try to climb into the ring with Ali because you think you can box. You know, you're an amateur. These guys are professionals and they're heavyweights. Okay, you're like a super fly featherweight. All right, you can't take a hit from Tyson just yet. All right, so we're going to look for you know, things in the camera niche. Okay, in the camera niche. Why is that? Well, for starters, the camera niche is booming right now. A lot of people are getting into photography thanks to, well, I can't say thanks to the pandemic, but whatever. Because of, you know, the pandemic, you know, people have been getting out a little bit more. They've been doing more solo things. You know, they've been doing a lot more photography. You know, they didn't necessarily want to be around a ton of people and things of that nature. So they've, you know, gotten into photography. There's other things that we're going to take a look at as well. But just know that the camera, you know, niche is doing pretty well, I'd say, you know, and there's some cool gadgets that people have been creating with the within the camera space. So we're going to take a look at those as well. You know, so let's go ahead and let's find these products. You know, it's taking a little bit because I'm using my hotspot. All right, and the connection out here ain't all that great. So as you guys can see here, there's a lot of little things coming. You know, there's little spy cameras here. You know, there's like outdoor cameras. So for me, you know, I'm a big car guy. You know, I have cameras outside of, you know, like my garage as well as my car shop, things, you know, things like that. Because, I mean, I don't want people coming in and snagging my McLaren or something like that. But you guys can see here, spy cameras, bro. This is the stuff that we were talking about when we were kids. Now, I might be dating myself, you know, but this is back in the early days of Bond, before Daniel Craig and all that. I, you know, was... So, someone's knocking. But, you know, I was, you know, really enamored with spy cameras and stuff. I used to want to like spy on my brothers and, you know, be like, hey, I wonder what they're doing. Things like this, these little spy cameras, you know, they're trending because, let's think about it, guys. Like, you know, we have kids now, you know, they're like nanny cams. Remember, nanny cams were very expensive back in the day, but you can have something like this, man. This is a science fiction type stuff. And they do really, really well. This is a relatively new, you know, niche. It's not something that's been around very, very long, which gives you an opportunity to dive into. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to kind of dive, you know, and maybe into this or maybe some type of spy glasses, because those I think are going to do really, really well. So let's see if we can find some. Let's see if we can find some glasses. You know, we got a lot of cameras though. We got a lot of security. Let's see, let's break it down, break it down, break it down. We might have to actually look for it. You know, I want to see how these are going to do. Come on, load up. Sorry guys, they're taking a little bit. But here we go. Oh wow, you know, revenue's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Estimated sales over here. Let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at this one. We're going to see what this can do. And it's an FBA seller at that. So, these are unavailable. Man, this... All right, let's go back. Tools and home improvement. We're just going to go overall. We're going to see here. We're going to check out spy glasses. All right. Spy glasses. Now that we're here with the spy glasses, now that we got to this right here, as you guys can see, look at this. You know, this is a sponsored post, obviously. So people are running PPC for this. You know, it has 45 reviews, looking 4.5, almost 4.5 stars out of 5, which is really good. You can see down here, right here in the bottom left, there's a rating of 8. All right, so this is a nice niche to jump into. And so AMZScout has a great algorithm. Coming from someone who's a software engineer, their algorithm is really spot on. You know, they give you a lot of the information that you need and none of the information that you don't. So they take into account a lot of things as far as like sales, reviews, history of the listing, things like that. And they bundle it all together to give you a nice little score, which if you take a look here, let's go ahead, we'll click on it. This will bring it up, right? So we're now in the AMZScout Pro extension. So you guys can see here what we can do. We can break this down by all types of different information, but you can see the overall score here. You're likely to succeed. You know, there's high profit margin. You know, these are close to the desired prices that you would want to be in. You know, we're looking between $50 to $60, but a lot of these are even lower, right? You know, it's a relatively new niche. A lot of the sales are still low, but that's just because this is a new niche with, you know, not as many hardcore sellers just yet. So this is something that you would be able to get involved in and make a good bit of money right off the rip. Okay, so it's very, very important that you guys get into niches that are not necessarily super saturated. You know, the competition is medium. As you can see here, there's a lot of things that are looking good. You know, it's unsaturated. There's low top brand competition, which means that is not very top heavy. You know, they don't have really, really heavy hitters that are holding all the cards. You know, there's I can't say very few, but there's few reviews, you know, fewer sellers. It's not monopolistic. You know, it's a good one. All right. This is definitely a good one that you guys should check out. So we go by, you know, revenue, so we can break this down. Revenue's looking good. Okay, so when you guys are looking at this, this is 31,000 for the top seller right here, for the top item in this particular niche. You know, then there's 28,000, 20,000, and so on. So the reviews are a little high for this guy right here, but none of them have broken over a 1,000. Looks like. All right, so you see here, nobody's broken over 1,000 yet. And the money is trickling down throughout this niche. All right, it's not necessarily concentrated with just one dude. Okay, it's still new. You can still get in. You can still make money with it. You just have to have a really good listing. And that's what we're going to talk about in a little bit further in the video. All right, so these sales are doing great. Okay, this is great. This is something that you want to see. You want to see people making money and not just the top guys. Even the people at the bottom are still raking in a few $100s. And this is probably just because they haven't optimized their listing yet. They're getting in, they're trying to figure it out. Maybe they don't know their PPC strategy just yet. Maybe they're struggling, okay? Or maybe their supplier, is expensive. Maybe the supplier, they don't have enough units. Maybe they just can't afford to get a bulk discount. So they're kind of just sucking it up and they're sitting back like, all right, well, we can only do so much. So maybe their margins are lower, so the pricing is a little bit higher and they just can't afford to compete. But you guys can see that right here. You can see what they're selling for, what the fees are gonna be, the estimated fees of that nature. This is definitely a good one. This is something that I would recommend, guys. So, you can go into AMZScout, the 𝗬𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗏.net. You can go over here, you can check out the product database, and you can look for certain items. You can see what's good, what isn't. This is a really good way to kind of figure out where you want to be, all right? Using this tool is gonna help you in ways that the Pro extension can't, all right? Because the Pro extension can give you suggestions, but it's not gonna give you all the information, So if you have a budget and you know that you can't necessarily afford items that are going to cost $200, $300, $400, $500 per unit, you can come in here and set the price of the item, because typically people who are buying, who are selling items for, 50 to 60 bucks, they're not buying items that are, $100. They would lose money, right? Okay, they're going to lose every sale. They're probably going to buy items that are closer to $10 to $20, so they can make a decent profit after their PPC, shipping, packaging, things like that. All right, so using this tool is paramount. All right, so when I want to come up with new ideas for my private label listings, I come use this tool. I dive over here, I take a look, I'm like, yo, maybe I want to get into something, and I take a look at the category, and then all of a sudden I'm not necessarily enamored anymore because that category is already saturated with really, really heavy competition. That'll save you a lot of time. It'll keep you from diving into stuff that doesn't necessarily matter and keep you from wasting a lot of effort, all right? You can divert your effort to things that are gonna make you money. All right, so now we're gonna find some even nicer stuff. So I got a whole lot of different things that I was looking at. Actually, one of them is something at my particular house. So my OLED TV is mounted on the wall, right? And because it's mounted on the wall, I got cables everywhere, and they're just very unsightly. People come over, they see this baller, big TV, and then they see all these wires just everywhere because, I got, game systems and stuff that I never play. My kids will, play them from time to time, but, we got a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and switches and all this other stuff just kind of sitting there, right? And it's unsightly. Doesn't look good, all right? Just does not look good, all right? So let's say you're looking for a tool like that, and you don't necessarily want to use the product database. You want to dive right in, all right? So you want to come right over here to Amazon. You want to go to Amazon.com, and let's just say you want to clean up these wires. So, you want to look at cable management, right? Cable management trays. And there we go. We'll go with cable management under desk. Things like this. So this actually isn't bad. So, AMZScout Pro is going through its thing. It's checking to see if this is a profitable niche or not, which, it's a little weak, all right? But there's still, room, all right? And apparently there is room because people are running PPC. So when people aren't running PPC, that's when you should worry, because that lets you know that even though they're running PPC, they're still not getting any sales, and they're gonna bail. They're like, all right, well, we don't know what to do at this point, right? So these guys are out here who are selling this, they're making some money. All right, so these are all cable management trays right here, under desk tray. Let's see if we can get even more specific with a tray. Here we go. Now you can break this down even more. I think this will probably give us a little bit better results as opposed to something being a little bit more general. This right here is pretty specific. This is even, even lower, but we're gonna see. We're gonna check these numbers and see what we can do here, okay? So let's break this down. We're gonna go ahead and let's see these numbers. Let's see what we're gonna get here. Let's see if these are gonna be listed as hot. Again, guys, you gotta cut me some slack. The connection here is taking a little while. So for once, this is actually a little different. So looks like there was a disparity between the initial check, which is what you guys should be doing. You should definitely check it. Even if the number might be a little low, still click in and see so we can break down that information, because maybe the first pass didn't capture all that. But you guys can see the profit here is pretty high. There's a decent margin here. You know, the niche is pretty good and there's high sales, all right? So there's people out there making money with this in particular, okay? So this right here isn't as low volume, whereas the spy glasses were. And the spy glasses were because it's relatively new, okay? You know, they had the Google, Google glasses, which were, you know, essentially spy glasses. You know, so now these are getting a little bit cheaper and a lot of people can get into the market. So this right here, you know, obviously these products are a little bit cheaper. They're just trays, they clean up all the wires and things of that nature. So more people can get in. So more people like you who are looking to start making a little bit of extra money or maybe create a whole Amazon business can start buying in and going from there. So let's go ahead and let's see. Hot. Look at this, man, like, woo. Yo, so a lot of these right here, these sales have grown over the past month, all right? So if you take a look here, so AMZScout Pro is amazing when it comes to this extension piece right here. It'll tell you what's hot, all right? Tell you what's hot, what's not, what you should be focused on, what you shouldn't be focused on. These right here, these things are pretty hot, okay? Like this right here, this is only one seller. These sales have grown a good bit over the last month. And you know, people are looking, people want to get involved. People are trying to start making money. And you guys can see up here, there's a niche history, visibility score, niche score. The niche score is pretty good. The visibility score right here. Most people are not looking for this, okay? Most people are not diving in. You guys will after this, but the majority of people aren't really focused on this. They're just kind of sitting back, chilling, minding their own business. You know, they're looking for other things. They're not necessarily looking for the everyday opportunity. And this is what this product is. It's an everyday opportunity, especially for people like me who need this, all right? You're gonna be catering to people who just don't like unsightly things. You know, like I wanna clean this stuff up. So therefore, I'm gonna look for things that can help me clean this up. These are things that are evergreen, okay? Evergreen products always do really, really well on Amazon because they sell all year round. Doesn't necessarily matter what time of year, what situation. And with people sitting in more often than not because they don't wanna go out due to the current situation that we have going, they're watching a lot more TV. You know, people are buying bigger TVs. You know, they're taking that stimmy money, buying more, bigger electronics. And therefore, like me, they want to clean things up. So having this might not be such a bad idea. We can take a look at the reviews now with this. The top guys right here, these reviews are a little high, all right? So they're a little high, but then the rest of them, they're not near as bad. The revenue is what we're going to concentrate on. Now, this revenue is looking really, really good, okay? So if you guys take a look here, this is $90,000, and then the next guy is $33,000, and then it trickles down from there. But even still, even the people on the first page, the lowest guy on the first page is $694, so almost $700. That lets you know that you have the opportunity to get to the first page relatively easily. That's what matters most. Okay, getting to the first page is very, very important when it comes to Amazon because people rarely go to the second page or the third or the fourth. I might hit the second page if there's something specific I'm looking for that I just can't see on the first page, but more often than not, people are gonna want that first page access. Knowing that you only have to sell $700 to get on that first page, that's a really, really good thing because your PPC alone can help you get there. Even though your A cost or the acquired cost to sell will be a little high, you can still get on that first page, and as those sales come in, your A cost is gonna drop, which means your PPC cost is going to drop drastically, okay? That's what you need to look at. Now, I know you're looking here like, oh, this might not be it, Chief. This right here is not bad, okay? It's definitely not a bad item. It's not as saturated, as you might think, due to the fact that the first page, man, these guys are selling $700 and making it to the first page. These guys here, $1,700. These guys, a few thousand. All right, $4,000. Like, that's really not that difficult to get to hit that first page. And a lot of these things are hot, right? That lets you know that these sales are increasing month over month. You want to get in something like that. You don't necessarily want to get involved in things that are just kind of sitting stagnant. This right here is good. Or if you're not getting into something that's hot, that's getting month over month or, week after week, day after day, something like the spy glasses, which is a relatively new niche that's untapped by a lot of people because most people aren't thinking about it. Getting involved in something like that is definitely good as well. Hot trending items, they're good. These are evergreen, so these aren't gonna go out anytime soon. The niche is gonna blow up and then kind of, it's gonna hit its peak and then it's gonna flatline. And if you're one of these guys that get in early, guys or gals, that get in early, you can sit and ride the coattails. You're gonna be on page one pretty much indefinitely, run a little PPC here and there, and that's just kind of how it goes, all right? So now that you got your product, now that you found all this stuff, you know, we can go and we can find things from Alibaba, baby. That's what we want to do here. Let's go ahead. Let's see. I want to see where we're going to get this. Let's get this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Found on Alibaba. So due to the partnership with Alibaba between AMZScout and them, you can now just go search for stuff on Alibaba. All right. So now you see these things you're selling for $23.99 up here. You know, this is selling for $16.95, $19.75. All that FBA fees, because, you know, selling FBA is a little bit more expensive than selling fulfilled by merchant. So there's fulfilled by Amazon and fulfilled by merchant, which is what I do a lot of, you know, where I'm like drop shipping from suppliers or sending them in myself. You know, I have employees that'll take things and ship them out from the warehouse that we have. So fulfilled by merchant, you know, the fees are definitely lower because you're doing all the work yourself or the supplier is doing it on your behalf. So you can see these fees and you can check it and be like, okay, this isn't terrible. You know, you can see all these estimated sales. Which is really good because the algorithm, like I said before, is very tight as opposed to some other softwares that I've noticed. Like one of my products, all right, so I ran this on JungleScout and AMZScout. You know, so JungleScout showed that I was selling 5,500 of these items. 5,500. I was selling closer to around 3,750. All right, AMZScout estimated around 4,000. They were roughly 250 off, a little bit more than that. Think about that for a second. If you're going to get involved with a product and the estimates are overinflated by a couple thousand, you might get into a niche that isn't profitable at all. You might jump in thinking that you're going to do really well, and then in turn, you just don't. So that's what I love about this software. It's specifically the reason why I'm able to sell over $1 million every single year, just with private label stuff, not including all the other things that I do. Wholesale, this works as well. So we're not even going to get into the wholesale piece. You know, we'll talk about that in another video for you guys. But let's go ahead. Let's break this down. I got to check my notes because there's other stuff I wanted to show you. All right. So now let's go ahead. Let's find this on Alibaba. Let's take a look at some of these things. Let's bring this up. Again, you know, my connection is a little slow here, but, you know, we're going to work. Look at this, guys. Like these pieces. So there's minimum orders, obviously, you know, for some of this stuff. This is door handle. Like, no, we need trays, people. We need trays. Let's go. Let's find these trays. Find these cable management trays. Under Jess. We'll look for this one. This hot one right here. Let's break this down. Let's find this on Alibaba. Bum, bum, bum. Here we go. All right. So what is this selling for over here? This is selling for $24.95. All right. $24.95. You're getting these things for $1. In some cases, $1 or $2. Okay, now this is $1.80 right here, $1.80, and the minimum order is 10 pieces. All right, that's a whole lot of profit. It's a whole lot of profit made, a whole lot. Even if your FBA fees are, we'll just say $8. If you're selling it, we'll just say it costs you $2, just $2 overall, $2. You're gonna sell this for 20. Okay. You're selling it for 10x. Even if your FBA fee, right, that brings your profit down to, you know, that brings the revenue down to $12. You're still in a clear 10 bucks. And people are selling thousands of these. Thousands. Even if you only sell 1,000 a month, it's $10,000 in your pocket. Okay? Think about that. Having a tool like this is imperative to your selling experience. Using AMZScout, definitely the way to go. All right, can break everything down for you. You can find suppliers right here. Okay, it takes you right from AMZScout Pro to Alibaba. You can contact the suppliers, send a message. Hey, you know, how many can you produce? How fast can you ship? And do you accept custom packaging? So that way you can work with a designer, get some custom packaging, and then go about your business. You want your packaging to be dope. You want it to look good. All right, because when people are searching on Amazon, like, yes, they're going to type things in, but you want that visual. So now you know that there is an opportunity in this particular niche. You can set everything up so you can make some money. All right, you want good packaging. You want it to look good. Okay, and then once you place your order and stuff like that, you can go and you can look for keywords. Okay, let's check for the keywords. Let's go back here and let's get these keywords. So in order to create a listing, so let's say, you've got your order set, you've already talked to the supplier, you've done all this. Now, when you create your listing, you can actually go right here and you can see some of the keywords for this to help you out. So that way, when you're creating your listing and you have to do your back-end search terms and things of that nature, which, we'll get into in a different video, you can bring these up. Here we go. Sorry guys, like I said, man, the web's taking a little bit. But, these are some of the keywords that you can use, and you can open the reverse ASIN lookup to get even more keywords. So this right here, there's a cable management underdesk tray, underdesk cable management. You're going to be able to put these keywords throughout your listing. Your back-end search terms are going to be the most important because that's what categorizes your product. But within your title, your bullet points, and your product description, you can use these keywords and spread them throughout. So that way, when someone's searching, your listing is packed full of strong keywords. Okay, so that way people can find them, and then you can get your item through PPC and good customer service, sales, and things like that. If you're going to be doing fulfilled by merchant, the customer service aspect is a little bit different. It'll take you to the first page. You only have to sell $700 worth. $700 worth will put you on the first page. So making sure that you do everything right, like getting these keywords and creating a solid listing, getting things at a good price, finding good niches, all that, coupled together, all of this brought together, it's going to make you a whole lot of money. Okay, take it from me. If it wasn't for AMZScout, I definitely would not be selling, $1 million every year with all my private label stuff. It's just, I wouldn't be able to do it. At least it'd be very, very, very difficult. So you guys should check it out. There's a free trial. You can go to AMZScout.net. You could check it out. You get a free trial. Everything is right here. I mean, I don't know how I could make it any easier for you, how they can make it any easier for you. There's so many tools, like I went over, the product tracker, so you can keep tabs on different things. Like maybe you're not ready to dive in right off the bat, but it's something to take a look at. And there, like I said, there's a course, there's masterclass, there's all types of stuff. They have a whole course to help you out. Okay, so again, guys, make sure you check this out. I highly recommend it. There's just some product ideas for 2021 that you can use, you can move forward with. So be safe, be smart, happy selling. I wish you guys all the best. Make sure you check out AMZScout. These guys are awesome. It can help you on your private label journey, or maybe even on your wholesale journey. I'll probably be on a webinar talking more about wholesale in the future, so you guys can check that out. And definitely want to go to Alibaba, because now this partnership is going to make it much easier for you. You don't even have to do all the crazy work of finding suppliers. They're just right there. Okay, so peace out.